You obviously grew up watching Dave Hickson. 1950s were a difficult era, austerity, war damage. What does someone like Dave Hickson mean to people like you growing up in Liverpool at the time?
Well, what it meant was basically having a hero. You know, especially for me, I suppose, because I didn't have a dad. So, you know, people used to have the dad. So Dave Hickson was my hero, really. He was somebody. Dave Hickson wasn't just a footballer. He was your storybook footballer.
Yeah.
He was the kind of footballer you read about, but doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
You know, and every Saturday afternoon, and even when he went to play for Liverpool, I used to go and watch him play for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because I just had such high regard for him as a player. He just gave 90 minutes. And unlike today's pass football, Dave Hickson was, if he got the ball, he regarded it as his duty to score, and he had it straight for goal. And even later on in life, when Dave played for us in the Isle of Man in the 80s, when we were all out on the pot, sorry, out on the drinks till about 12 o'clock at night, Dave gets up at 10 o'clock, says, "I'm going to bed. We've got a game tomorrow." You know, because that's how serious he took it. And I can remember we played against the Isle of Man Police, and Dave was brilliant. When he came off, I said, "Great game, Dave." He said, "No." I said, "Well, you can play great now." He said, "I didn't score." He said, "I'm a centre forward. It's my job to score."
Is this for the over the hill mob?
Well, he played for us for the Billy Butler charity level on these couple of occasions. You know. I remember the first time I played in the charity game with him, and he passed the ball to me, and I totally missed it because I was so overawed. Now Dave Hickson had passed the ball to me, you know.
And was he still a hard player when he was playing? Game?
Oh yeah. He still gave took no prisoners when he played. He complained a lot as well, you know, and even did that in his younger days.
Yeah. Just going back to when he was playing for Everton, you said he was the storybook footballer. What was it about him? Was it the quirk?
Yeah, it was the hair. It was the hair. It was the looks.
Yeah.
You know, it was the fact that he seemed to be able to float on air when he went up for headers.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just. He was the centre forward you read about, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
You know, and you knew he was playing for Everton.
Yes.
You knew his heart was in the game.
Yeah.
You know, there wouldn't be a minute in the 90 he wasn't trying to win for Everton.
Yeah. And were you there during those very famous FA Cup games in 1953?
Yeah.
70,000 there.
Yeah.
So where would you have watched it, from the boys' pen? Or?
It would have been the boys' pen initially. Then we climb over.
Right.
Yeah, and of course those days, I mean, you know, unless you got somebody to give you a lift up, it was a bit difficult because you had to climb up on the stanchions to hold yourself up, you know.
And would you know what was going on? Would you know David sort of splattered his head full of blood and everything? Or
well, not really, because...
Would that be something you read about the next day?
Well, we knew something was up because he had a bandage on, didn't he, when he first come back out?
Yeah.
So we knew something was up. But I mean, from the very, very back of the Gladys Street end, you can't make out things brilliantly.
Yeah. Yeah. And was he any good? I mean, this is the other thing.
I always thought he was, yeah. Definitely.
Because he always downplayed his...
I know, yeah.
You know...
I did. And he looked good. I mean, Dave was very unfortunate that he was... In his day, there were no videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's hardly any. There's a judge Dave by.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Some of the things, the only few things you got to judge Dave by are photos.
Yeah.
And when you see the photos of him, you know, in mid-air and going up for goals, and seeing his determination, you know, the still pictures often say as much as a moving picture could.
Yeah. Yeah. How old were you when he left to join Aston Villa?
Well, that would be in the late 50s.
55.
55. So I'd be 13.
Right. How did you feel when he left? Did you?
Oh, I felt dreadful. I just couldn't understand what Everton were doing, letting go the man whose heart and soul was Everton.
Yeah.
And when he went to Liverpool, I was quite pleased about that because it meant I could still watch him.
In fact, you?
Oh yeah, I used to go to Everton one day, Liverpool the next week.
Would you have ever done that?
I would have had to stay in all week to be able to do it, but I would, you know.
And would you have done that before, though, Billy?
No. No, I mean, I follow Liverpool's results because it's my home city. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone to watch them, you know, because I couldn't really afford to. But with Dave, you made an exception. You go, you run a few more messages, take a few more papers back to the chippy, take some empty bottles back till you got enough money. And it's still one of the best sight I've ever seen in football was him and Roger Hunt both going forward.
Yeah.
Because Hunt was very much like him with the hair and everything, you know, and he looked great going forward together.
Yeah. He had one of his most prolific seasons at Liverpool.
He did. He started off brilliantly, didn't he?
People forget about that. And after he left, did anybody ever replace him in your heart?
No. I probably got too old for that then.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't at the right age to have another hero.
And what was it like later on in your life and his life, getting to know him, playing along?
Well, I got to know him because of playing alongside him and stuff, and also the fact that apparently he used to listen to my programme and really liked it. And the embarrassing thing was that when I did first meet Dave, he was treating me as if I was something special.
Yeah.
You know, found that hard to cope with.
Yeah.
You know, Billy, you're lovely to me, I've always listened to you, and you know, it's full of praise. And if ever I played a birthday dedication for him, he'd be effusive with his thanks. You know what I mean? I used to be embarrassed sometimes the affection he used to show for me.
Have you ever had anybody else like that? Anybody else who's famous in Liverpool who's known?
No, not as much as Dave was. No. You get people who you've done stuff for and they're very grateful for it and they treat you with a lot of respect. But Dave was, you know, he made me feel really great and embarrassed.
Yeah. What's your principal memory of him playing for Everton? Is the one moment that maybe hasn't been recorded in the history books?
It's hard to say that really. I mean, I can remember him emerging out of the fog to score against Charlton Athletic, because we could hardly see much, but he came out of the fog suddenly and blasted it past, I think it was Bartram in goal for Charlton. But you just think of whole games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was always great seeing him run out.
You know, at the start of the game, is that?
Yeah.
He just had that poison.
And he later on in life, he was great company. He had a great football mind.
Yes.
You know, his memory for football facts and figures was brilliant.
Yes.
You know, and of course, as you know, he was 125,000% Everton through and through.
Oh yes.
But he was funny to be out with at times. You know, really was. He'd always have a little cigar in his pocket to offer you, you know. And he must have been about the famous Dave Hickson £5 note. He always had a £5 note in his top pocket, you know.
For what?
Well, in case you had to get around him, because he was held in such reverence that in company he probably hardly ever had to buy anybody a drink.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you for you.
No bother. My pleasure. Just wish you was here to read it.
Yeah. I was devastated when he passed away.
But there are, I mean, the few photos there are of him, you know, really good. You know.
Yeah.
I think he only did 3. I think he was only on 3 cigarette cards, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. I think I've got all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I've got an autograph of that one of him in mid-air, volleying it.
Half the photos are of him in mid-air, the other half are covered in blood.
Yeah.
I was told to ask you about a female wrestler who apparently you went to Dave Hickson's 80th birthday with her. She was a friend of Dave's.
Bitsy Muller.
Yeah, well, sorry, I have no idea who she is or what.
Well, she's Brian Dixon's wife. Brian was Brian's an agent. He's a wrestling agent, you know,
right.
but they went to all of the variety club functions, and most of the functions Dave went to, and they became friends that way. And they often took him out for a meal and stuff like that. They were very good to Dave.
Right. Okay.
You know.
Well, look them up.
Oh yeah, they were very, very good to him. Okay. You know, they held him in a great deal. Used to go to the Indians at Ellesmere Port a couple of times with him. You know, and with the Everton centre half.
Tommy Jones.
No. 70s, 80s, big tall lad.
Mountfield.
Yeah, he was a very, very good friend of his.
Yeah, I'm speaking to him.
Yeah. You mentioned Brian Dixon. Oh yeah. This is really good. This a friend of mine, Ozzy Armour, arranged a surprise 80th, I think it might have been 70th birthday for him. Arranged a surprise 70th birthday for him at the Poulton Vic Social Club, and we're all in there. Had a gigantic mural of Dave on the stage, and all the lights were dimmed and everything, and we got told shush, you know. And he come in and everybody sang happy birthday and everything, you know. and he blew the candles out the cake and everything, you know. And he didn't like saying, but it wasn't his birthday. It wasn't his birthday till the next day. Ozzy had made a complete balls of it, you know. And it wasn't until probably about 6 or 7 months after it that Dave said, "Listen, Bill, you know, I don't want you to mention this to Ozzy," he said, "but it wasn't my birthday." But he didn't like mentioning it, you know, in case he offended anyone. He wouldn't offend anything, Dave. Off the field, he was totally different, you know.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very humble man.
He was, yeah. I mean, I found a bit of old footage of him playing for Tranmere.
Yeah.
And it was one of the very first episodes of Match of the Day.
Brilliant.
And what I'll do is I'll send the link to Claire and you can have a look.
Oh yeah, I'd like
that. There's
that.
about 6 minutes of it. And Dave is once he's watching the referee, and the referee turns his back, he turns around and flattens somebody.
He denied that till the day he died, you know.
He's just in the referee's face the whole time. He's like a cross between Duncan Ferguson.
Look, he used to always say to me, you know, he never got sent off ever for fouling anyone. It was only for his mouth.
Yeah.
And the duels between him and Malcolm Barris were legendary.
Yeah.
The first time I ever cried in a footy match was when I was a kid. It'd be about 11, would I? About 11, yeah. When we got beat by Bolton in the semi-final. We didn't have a radio at the time. I was listening, and the neighbours up the road. And when I turned on, it was 4-0 because you don't used to broadcast the second half in those days on the radio. Yeah. And we got back to 4-3, as you know. I cried me fucking eyes out. Yes. The tension to listen to it on the radio, you know what I mean? Yes. And us being in the second division and coming from so far behind and nearly doing it, you know.
I'm missing a penalty as well.
Missing a penalty as well.
It's football.
I'd love to. I mean, that exists, you know. That's on.
There's Pathé coverage.
Yeah, Pathy.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. And they must still have it. I don't think they destroy anything, Pathy. No. They put piles of stuff out up to now through network. I'd love to see them put some of that out.
Yeah.
Because you'd see Peter Farrell's free kick, which he took twice and scored twice. Mm-hmm. You know, and these days, scoring from a free kick is an accepted thing. Yeah, but in those days, with a big, heavy leather ball, you know, to do it was something else. And for him to score then after having taken a game and score again.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I'd like to see the Tranmere bit as well.
Yeah.
Of course, he will deny it was him if he was alive. All right.
Well, thanks, Billy. I'll do that.
Pleasure.
And I'll be in touch when the book comes out.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Bye-bye.